questions, and per request from Pacifica, we have with us Sabrina Jacobs speaking in behalf of Pacifica as it relates to the recent shutdown of WBAI in terms of the staff that has been running it. This happened October 7th, I believe. We're looking at a Amsterdam News article, and this says sabotage WBAI. After 60 years, has WBAI been silenced? And that's how we're starting our interview with Sabrina Jacobs. Has WBAI been silenced?
No, Brother Leroy, thank you so much for having me on your show. I appreciate you giving us the time to speak to what's been going on with WBAI. The staff was laid off, and contrary to the ongoing misinformation campaign, WBAI has never left the air. It was not shut down, nor is it being sold. The move was necessary due to WBAI's desperate financial situation, which jeopardized all of the stations within Pacifica Foundation. The one in Northern California, Southern California, Houston, D.C., so we had to do something about it, as well as our affiliates and our archives. Mm-hmm. And the only way to prevent the demise of WBAI and Pacifica as a whole was to halt the financial hemorrhaging in New York due to mismanagement.
Okay. They're not here to speak to it, but mismanagement may have been something ongoing over a period of years or sporadic. Whichever way it is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not pointing to any certain particular time.
Right.
As far as I know, it's been over the last 10, 20 years or so. But I'm not the numbers person, so.
Right. Okay.
They could definitely speak to what the numbers were, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, up to today, All
right.
But it was something that needed to be done immediately. They hadn't been able to make payroll, and we had to stop it some kind of way.
Right.
In order to save the whole foundation. Mm-hmm.
Right. And Sabrina, let's talk about where we go from here. We're going to move around from point to point, not from point. It's not going to be an A, B, C, D interview. We're dealing with things coming top of mind and trying to be on a positive trip. And that is in terms of now, what do we do? And I'm talking about the listeners, the supporters of WBAI Pacifica. What do we do in terms of projecting at whatever time a programming that reflects the New York City audience?
Well, we have a project. It's called the Rebuild WBAI project that is in the works as we speak. Right now, what's happening as far as the programming of WBAI, that's all being pulled from all of the different radio stations within the foundation, and that's also including the affiliates. So that's what's being replayed or played on WBAI airwaves, and that's until we're able to get back on solid financial footing so that we can bring back local programming and be able to pay those local programmers and be able to pay the administrative staff so that WBAI can open its doors again. But that's a part of the Rebuild WBAI project, and we're working towards trying to get the necessary monies together in the form of donations and grants to put those back into a solid financial state or status.
And in terms of this, just give us the name again of this particular project, strategic project that you have. You said it quickly, and I didn't get the name. Oh,
sure. It's called the Rebuild WBAI project.
Okay. All right. And
yeah, and that's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So basically, that consists of getting ourselves financially back to where we need to be, so that we're solid. Because right now we're going through a situation where the folks that had a knee-jerk reaction to what happened at WBAI on October 7th, they took the foundation to court, and now we're dealing with all of this litigation, and that's not where we need to be. We need to have mediation. There are opposing sides on the board, so it's hard for us to get anything done at this point. It's all in the courts. It's all dealing with lawyers. It's all dealing with the legal system, and that's not where we need to be. What happened needed to happen. There was no other way. We wouldn't even be talking about Pacifica Foundation right now. We'd be talking about it in the past tense, Brother Leroy, if we hadn't done what we did. So the fact that we have to spend even more money with litigation instead of coming to the table, sitting down, and having mediation, that's not helping the situation at all. That's not helping the Rebuild WBAI project at all.
One of the things mentioned in the Amsterdam News front page article, and we're going back to October 10th, date on the Amsterdam News, is that some of the equipment was damaged by the folks who came in and shut it down.
Okay, some of the I couldn't hear you. I'm so sorry, Brother Leroy.
I'm sorry. That in the Amsterdam News article, I don't know whether you saw a copy of the article on the internet out there, stated October 10th. It stated that in the article, it stated that some of the equipment, in other words, it gave the image, it gave the picture that whoever came in, the people who came in and shut it down, destroyed equipment in the process, some of the equipment being destroyed. That's the term that was used, and others just dismantled.
No, that's not. No, nobody took any equipment. It was stored away in a secured room.
Okay. All right.
On premises there, as far as I know. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, but no, that's not true. That's not true.
All right. Okay. That's the significance of this particular interview. It is for the audience, it is an opportunity for Pacifica to speak, quote, their side, given the fact of information or positions being taken in public or at press conferences
Sure.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, too, Brother Leroy, there's a huge misinformation campaign that's going on right now, and it's to me, it's just folks that want things to be what they were instead of trying to look forward to the future, to make the necessary improvements so that we're not in this situation. It's a tunnel vision type ideology. They're not looking at the fact that the rest of us are hurting. The rest of the foundation is hurting. The rest of the foundation that has paid employees, and pensions and all that, those folks would be looking at not being able to have their jobs anymore if we would have kept on going the way they were going. So it's just a point of them opening their mind and try to use a little bit of empathy, and put themselves in the position of, hey, when WBAI was doing well, when WBAI was doing well, we were able to help out, you know what I mean? And there wasn't this expectation that you got to keep helping out. It's like that scene in Cousin or what have you that just won't get off the stuff or won't get out the street. You keep coming back. That's not the way to go. You got to get them help. There needs to be help. There needs to be a fine line drawn and boundaries created, so that everybody can benefit from a better situation.
Now, Sabrina, in terms
Everybody's got to stop at some point and say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't working anymore.
Right. Sabrina, in terms of the court action and the position of Pacifica that we should be in mediation as opposed to court action, at what point would there be the attempt to mediate this thing, to sit down, and does that happen after court action or after court decisions? Help us through that.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, Brother Leroy, but I'll tell you, as soon as they say, hey, let's go to mediation, we can go to mediation. That's my understanding. So it's up to them. We're offering it up. The side that did what they did as far as what happened on October 7th to rebuild WBAI and implement the Rebuild WBAI project is willing to go into mediation. We didn't start all this litigation stuff. The other side did. The folks that want to keep things the same as it was 5 years ago, the same it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago at WBAI. They're the ones that are incurring all of these extra litigation costs, unnecessary litigation costs. So as far as when it would happen, that's up to the process of mediation, and that's up to them actually saying, hey, let's go ahead and sit down at the table and try to make a difference here and try to move forward in a positive way.
In terms of Rebuild WBAI, the aspect of going after funding that would enable that to happen is the idea to get enough funding to last for 3 months and, another 3 months, or is it a longer period than that?
Okay, I couldn't hear the question. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sabrina, what we're asking is that rebuilding WBAI in the effort to get funding for it on the part of Pacifica, is that something that would be a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan? If you're successful in raising X number of dollars for Rebuild WBAI, how soon would WBAI be back on the air, and for how long, based on the initial funding that you're looking to get?
Yes, see, that all boils down to mediation. Like I said, we are incurring unexpected costs in regards to this litigation. So that all depends on how much we can, get in regards to donations and in regards to grants, but we also have to make sure we're on solid footing with our audits so that we can attract those large number of donors. It's all very fluid. It's all a very, very fluid situation. However, whatever comes out of that mediation, whatever, if there's a 3-month plan that X, Y, and Z needs to happen, or if there's a 6-month plan that A, B, and C needs to happen, if we could come to the table and get to that point, then I'd be able to give you a better projection as to when we could get WBAI back on the air with its local programming. But until then, we can't. It's hard to predict. It's really, really hard to predict at this point. Anyway,
help us with this, and that is in terms of listeners, and that is Pacifica is a foundation. There's X amount of monies, wherever it came from, that story is there. But how much money is, and I'm not looking for private information, how much monies does Pacifica get from the United States government? I'm dealing with the PBS kind of monies, and that, the monies they get. Does that money also come to Pacifica?
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, you're talking about, Brother Leroy?
I don't know what it's in terms of the government. The government has a pot of money that goes to independent. Does any of it come to Pacifica?
We were getting Corporation for Public Broadcasting funding as part of the whole, congressional mandate that all nonprofits, they're entitled to. They're entitled to get funding from the federal government. We haven't qualified for it because we need to go through and do the necessary revamping of the foundation, as well as, with WBAI and making sure that our audits are up to date. So, yeah, but we were getting it probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was in the amount of about $1 million or $2 million. And that's just a rough estimate. Like I said, I don't do the numbers.
Got it. No, I was just asking from the standpoint of that being a piece of information in mind, but the average consumer doesn't have that information. We just don't know. And
absolutely. Well, let me direct folks to GuideStar, the GuideStar.com. You can get any information that you want in regards to any of the nonprofits throughout the country that you're looking to give to or donate to or what have you. So that is available. You can get all of the audit information for those nonprofits, including Pacifica Foundation and including that individual radio station that you're maybe is in your signal area. In this case, the WBAI. You can get the information from there, accurate information.
And what's the site again?
It's called GuideStar.com.
Spell that.
Guide, and I'm sorry, GuideStar.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
at a theater near you. This is good. Okay. What else? What else? Well, I'm saying. See, listen, Sabrina. When you drop information like this, those who don't have the information grab hold to it just like Velcro. So when you drop that, I say, "Oh, okay." We'll go to that site and see what's going on.
Right on. We'll definitely want to make sure folks got all the information that they need. But stay tuned. There will be more good, hopefully good information to give out and let folks know what's going on as far as WBAI is concerned.
Well, listen.
I hope you're able to afford us more time, Brother Leroy. I truly appreciate being on your show today.
Now, listen. The thing is, when we accepted the invitation to have you on, we're right in the middle. This is Brother Leroy and company. We're right in the middle of folks who are very much involved with WBAI, either physically or emotionally. And we took this interview in order to enable Pacifica to get whatever information you have to share with the New York City audience, get that out. And subsequent interviews now, folks are going to be asking, can you have them respond to this, that, and the other? So you're going to have to be ready for that. We have no problem allocating time to the community and to those entities serving the community. That's our mandate.
Okay, well, I thank you for the time and thank you for the opportunity. We thank you for the opportunity. We truly do. And as soon as we've got more information moving forward, I would definitely appreciate more time, be able to let you listeners know there and let you know what's going on. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Just before you leave, is there anything that we missed? Anything that you did not share that you need to share?
Well, I would direct folks to Pacifica Protectors on Facebook. It's called Pacifica Protectors, and you can get all the updates in regards to what's happening with WBAI on that site on Facebook. That's okay. Pacifica Protectors.
And the last but not least, how long have you been involved in broadcasting, either independent or for corporate, whatever?
Going on 10 years now, almost 11.
Yourself?
Yeah, yes, myself, yes.
And how did you
Started off as an intern and moved on from there. Now I have my own show, which is called A Rude Awakening. Excuse me, A Rude Awakening at kpfa.org. kpfa.org.
A Rude Awakening, okay.
And that's on Mondays at 3:30. Mondays at 3:30 Pacific time.
Okay, beautiful. Sabrina Jacobs,
right.
Pacifica, yes. WBAI. Want to thank you very much for joining us, and may your Sunday be a fantastic one. God bless you and your family.
No, thank you so much, Brother Leroy. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. God bless you as well.
All right. Bye now. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with our next interview, and that relates to the current events of football and sports, etc.